Stop. Hold up. You think you know what happens next, right? Cheating husband, nasty mistress, big dramatic divorce? You are so wrong. Because the woman I'm about to tell you about, the one who looks like she just got back from dropping the kids off at school, yeah, Amelia is about to sign a paper that will shatter the mistress's entire life. And no, it's not divorce papers. The mistress, Serafina, was screaming, voice breaking. "You can't! You're nobody! I built this division! You're just his wife!" Amelia, calm as a lake, didn't even look up. And yet, I own the pen, and the desk, and the building, and the company, and, as of 5 minutes ago, I own the debt from your little company card shopping spree. Boom. Just like that, the housewife signs the paycheck. Well, she signs the end of the paycheck. This is the story of Amelia and how she used a simple apron as the best disguise in business history. Get comfortable. This is going to be good. Let's rewind a bit. Meet Amelia. For 10 years, everyone, her husband, his family, the women at the club, called her just a housewife. They meant it as an insult, a way to keep her small. They thought her life was a treadmill of laundry and school runs. What they didn't know was that Amelia wasn't just anything. She was running one of the most successful ghost operations in corporate history, the Sterling Group. Her grandfather started the company, but he believed in anonymity. He trained her from childhood. The simpler you look, the less anyone sees you coming. So Amelia chose the ultimate camouflage, the domestic life. She spent her days managing a multi-billion-dollar portfolio from a small office hidden behind the linen closet. Nobody suspected the woman planning a bake sale was the one deciding mergers and acquisitions. She'd be on a video call, looking completely focused, saying things like, "Yes, I approve the acquisition of the Lanson patents. Close the deal by end of day. No, Victor does not need to know. He manages one branch, not the strategy." Now, let's talk about Victor. A total zero, but Amelia loved him once. She gave him the job as a regional branch manager for her company. A comfortable paycheck, a gift, and he repaid that gift by being an idiot. We cut to a fancy, dimly lit bar. Victor, slick suit, clearly stressed, is talking nervously to Serafina, the mistress. She was head of marketing and a total master manipulator. She saw Victor as her ticket to the top. Victor said, "Look, Sarah, it's our 10-year anniversary next week, my 10th with her. I've got the full access codes. My name is on the branch account." Serafina purred. "The branch account is nothing, baby. We need the whole thing." She's a ghost. Everyone assumes the Sterling behind the company is some old retired guy. They think you are the future CEO. They were setting up a hostile takeover. Serafina prepared a transfer of majority control document with a placeholder for the final signature. They were going to corner the current ghost CEO. Victor added, "And my anniversary gift to her, a signed divorce paper." Gross. That's the exact moment Amelia decided the game was over. See, Victor was stupid enough to have this conversation in a place he thought was private, but Amelia had her people everywhere. Every word, every wicked plan was streamed live to her hidden office. Amelia watched the feed. She took off her glasses and her face hardened. Game on, darlings. You just messed with the wrong housewife. It was the morning of the 10th anniversary. Victor was gone, having texted Amelia, "Anniversary dinner canceled. Big meeting, you understand." The plan was for Victor and Sarah to stage a celebration and a board meeting that evening at the Grand Sterling, Amelia's flagship downtown hotel. Amelia's job for the next few hours: set the trap. She drove her normal, slightly older model SUV to the hotel. We find Serafina in the presidential suite looking smug. She's setting up documents. Amelia bursts in. "Amelia, what are you doing in my suite?" Serafina sneers. "Your suite? Oh, I forgot. The company lets the regional manager's wife use the presidential suite once a decade. How sweet. Actually, I booked this for a very important strategy session. You know, work, something you wouldn't understand." She began her glorious, satisfying villain rant. "You know, I almost feel sorry for you. 10 years. You spent your 30s making macaroni and cheese and clipping coupons, while I was in Milan closing the Jupiter account. While I was earning my place in this company, you were arguing with a plumber." Amelia, completely steady, replied, "The plumber was a nice man. He fixed the boiler for a reasonable rate." She laughed harsh. "Oh, you're so adorable. A reasonable rate. Look at you. You reek of domesticity. Your purse holds snacks, not capital. Your ring screams, 'My husband is a mid-level manager.' Victor gave me this necklace last month. He said it was because I understand him. I understand ambition. What do you understand, Amelia? The proper temperature for a red wine stain remover?" She was truly digging her own grave. Amelia pushed back. "I understand that Victor is taking over the Sterling Group, and I'm his partner, his real partner. You're just the sentimental clutter he's finally cleaning out." Serafina picked up the thick file. "Look at this. This is the succession plan. Victor will be the CEO, and you, Amelia, the housewife, are about to get your official eviction notice from this corporate life. He's having the divorce papers delivered here. It's poetic. The end of your little dollhouse life." Amelia smiled slowly, not a nice smile, a predator's smile. "You've made your position very clear, Serafina. You've also made a detailed case for criminal fraud, breach of contract, and gross mismanagement of corporate assets." She waved her hand. "Blah, blah, blah. Go home, Amelia. Go dust the picture frame. The grown-ups are working." The tension was building. Victor arrived, stressed but trying to project authority. He saw Amelia and his face fell. "Amelia, what are you doing here? I told you I had a board meeting." "I thought I would bring the celebratory cake. It's our 10-year anniversary. I made it myself." Victor sighed, irritated. "Don't be childish. Sarah, show her the papers. Let's get this done." Victor walked over to Amelia, pulling out the manila envelope, the divorce papers. "Look, Amy, I'm sorry. You're a great mother, but you've been absent from my life. My real life. The corporate life. You couldn't keep up. Sign this, and I'll make sure you're comfortable." Amelia took the envelope, but didn't open it. "Absent from your life? Victor, I see you every morning. I make your breakfast. I dry clean your shirts. I handle everything at home so you can focus on your real life. That's not absent. That's support. Support you've completely misused." Victor got angry. "Stop acting like the martyr. This is my moment. I've worked for 10 years for this company. I deserve to be the CEO." Serafina yelled, "That's right. Victor is the future. You're yesterday's news. Sign it, or I will have security escort you out." Serafina gestured to the two large men in dark suits by the door. Amelia smiled slowly. "Oh, you mean my security?" The two men nodded and stepped forward. Victor and Serafina were completely confused. Victor stammered. Wait, what? Henry, what are you doing? I hired you. The guard, Henry, said, I work for the Sterling Group, sir, and my contract states my primary duty is to the CEO. Serafina panicked. This is a trick. The CEO is an old man. You're bluffing. Amelia stood up, walked toward the window, and looked out over the city skyline. 10 years ago, my grandfather handed me the keys to this company. He gave me one rule. Never let anyone know you hold the power until they try to take it from you. He said, let them underestimate you. It's the greatest advantage in business. You two didn't just underestimate me, you forgot I existed. The door opened again. 4 people in impeccable business attire entered, the key members of the Sterling Group's board. The head board member, Alexa, said, Madam CEO, apologies for the slight delay. We've reviewed the emergency financial audit and prepared the necessary documentation. Amelia turned away from the window. Her whole posture shifted from the housewife to the CEO. Her glasses were off. Serafina whispered, terrified. CEO! Wait, the CEO's name is Sterling. Amelia Sterling. Victor staggered back. No, that's impossible. You're the wife of Victor Sterling. Amelia stared him down. I am Amelia Sterling. My full legal name is Amelia Sterling. You, Victor, took my name when we married 10 years ago, and you manage a small branch of my company. You never bothered to read the documents. You just signed whatever I put in front of you. The silence was crushing. The mistress realized her entire future was in the hands of the woman she just mocked for having a clean oven. Amelia looked at Victor. You were never entitled to this company. You were given a chance. You had a cushy life, a loving family, and a powerful wife whose protection you never deserved. You thought I was busy with the PTA. I was busy making sure the $100 million deal you almost ruined last month actually closed. She picked up Serafina's fake papers. Serafina, this is a masterpiece of delusion. You forged signatures, misfiled documents, and routed company funds through a shell corporation to pay for your private travel. That company card you were flashing, it was tied to my grandfather's personal expenditure account. Every cent you spent, I got a text message alert for. I let it happen. I was waiting for the perfect moment, and you just handed it to me. Serafina screamed, You lie! Victor, tell her you're the boss! Victor's voice was tiny and broken. Amy, I didn't know. I swear. I thought the CEO was the old man. Amelia threw the fake papers in the air. Stop. Don't insult my intelligence. We were already rich. You didn't want money, Victor. You wanted power. The power to make me feel small. And you used this woman to do it. Amelia signaled to the board member. Alexa, please present the documents. The real documents. Alexa placed the black file on the desk. Madam CEO, this package contains 1. The immediate termination of Victor Sterling. 2. A civil suit for criminal breach of contract and embezzlement. 3. The immediate termination of Serafina Kane. 4. A non-compete clause effective immediately for both parties. 5. A permanent restraining order. This is the ultimate payoff, the moment of sweet, delicious revenge. Amelia sat down at the desk. 10 minutes ago, you said I was just a housewife, only good for cleaning and small talk. You were right about one thing. I am incredibly good at management. I manage a household, a family, a budget, and a reputation. And today, I'm managing a corporate restructuring. She signed Victor's termination. Victor, you get nothing. The assets are protected by an ironclad prenuptial agreement that you signed without reading, Because you were too busy planning your future as CEO. You keep the tie you're wearing and the car you drove here. The house, the money, the life, it's mine. You're done. Victor fell to his knees, begging, "Amy, please, we have kids. Don't do this. I love you. I was confused." Amelia didn't look up, her voice cold. "That's not confusion, Victor. That's a pattern of poor judgment that will follow you for the rest of your life. Get him out of here, Henry." Now it was just Amelia and Serafina. Serafina pleaded, "Amelia, please. I didn't know you were the CEO. I was desperate. I've worked so hard." Amelia looked directly at her. "You know what really angered me? It wasn't the cheating. It was the condescension. The casual dismissal of my entire life. You thought running a home, raising intelligent children, and being the silent foundation of a major executive's life was easy. I call it being the central nervous system." She picked up Serafina's termination agreement. "You closed one deal, Serafina. I designed the strategy that made that deal possible. You are a good salesperson, nothing more. And now you are a fired, legally blacklisted, and criminally liable former employee." She tried one last desperate attack. "You think this is over? You can't run a company and a home. You'll fail." Amelia leaned forward, quiet but deadly. "Serafina, I have successfully run this company for 10 years while raising 2 children, managing 7 properties, and planning your company travel. I was a CEO when you were still an intern, and unlike you, I never once needed a man's name to sign my paychecks. Your life is officially terminated. Henry, call legal. I want her and Victor's electronic access scrubbed, keys collected, and a full forensic audit started on their private finances. Everything." Later that day, Amelia was back in her home office, behind the linen closet door. She was in a comfortable t-shirt and jeans again. This is the casual direct-to-audience moment, the moral of the story part. Amelia said, "The funniest thing about the whole situation, she kept calling me just a housewife. She truly believed that because I wasn't in a boardroom 14 hours a day, I wasn't working. What is a housewife really? She's a chief financial officer. She manages complex logistics. Try coordinating a 4-person schedule with sports and doctor's appointments. She's a human resources manager, dealing with conflict and morale. She's an operations director, keeping the system running. The only difference is she doesn't get a second paycheck." Victor thought his divorce papers would hurt me. The truth is, I was signing his walking papers out of my life, my company, and my comfort. He was a branch manager. I am the CEO. He can't fire me. I can certainly fire him. Amelia's story is a reminder that quiet work is still work, that the people you ignore often hold the most power, and that the simple things, the routine, the daily grind, can actually be the best strategy for success. Amelia, Serafina is going to be fine. She'll get a job somewhere else. Victor, he's probably going to have a much harder time because I didn't just fire him from the company, I fired him from his identity. He had nothing without my name and my support, and that's a lesson he's going to spend a long, long time learning. So, what's the takeaway here? Next time you see someone who looks like they're just doing anything, just cleaning, just taking notes, just sitting quietly, remember Amelia. Because sometimes the person who looks the most harmless is the one who's about to sign your next review or your severance package. Amelia walked back to the kitchen where the celebratory cake box was still sitting there. She opened it and took a small bite. You know, Serafina never tasted the cake. It was actually really good. I should have made her stay for a piece. But then again, she wouldn't know how to appreciate simple perfection. And that, my friends, is how a housewife became the person who signed her biggest critic's paycheck. Hit the like button and subscribe if you think Amelia deserves a full vacation after that performance. We'll see you in the next video.